So he said the best intention programs fall apart when the tools don't talk to each other. Absolutely true. Um, so one of the biggest issues with the management of procured services, or putting a services procurement program in place to manage the spend, all the stuff you're buying under statement of work engagements. One of the biggest problems is people just not putting a program in place at all. That's the number one problem, is people struggle to get their arms around it. They struggle to get started. So for me, it feels like a heinous crime if people are being brave and actually getting started, but then doing it badly. It just it just feels like such a shame. I mean, obviously, there's probably lots of different reasons for that, but is that something that you've seen a fair amount of?
Yeah, I mean, there's the two sides. There's the program operational side, and then the technology side. And I think it's always a struggle to move this forward. It falls under that contingent workforce umbrella, so it is generally not prioritized. It's thought of as an afterthought. B, the amount of intelligence and people that they have that are working on this are quite limited. And the people that know this stuff, not that they're not intelligent in general, they're intelligent in other things that may not necessarily be applicable to this. So I think that goes back to the prioritization of this, which I think is a big sticking point in our industry, whether you're trying to implement a tech or a solution or whatever it is in the contingent workforce space, is it worth it to us? We talked about problems earlier and these buckets of problems and the wheel of pain. Yeah, we know those, but the question is that pain, is that problem big enough to actually action? I think that's one of the biggest things that uh, not the biggest thing, but a difficult struggle is it worthwhile to make a change and make an investment to possibly disrupt what it is we're doing to create efficiencies and value? And is all of that justifiable to make that change? Because the true biggest thing that holds our industry back is complacency and the ability to make a change and that commitment to change. And so, whether it is a tech or an operation or service, that commitment to, yes, you know what, let's go with the Zivio solution, and let's do it. Now we got to get everybody on board, and now we need to do that change process, and that could be quite disruptive. Um, when we look at the technology, part of what I was getting that at is, there's the tech working together. Um, there's, clients I've worked with where they have six, seven, eight different systems that are doing some part of the end-to-end process of services procurement, services management, whether that's, the sourcing, the RFP, the contracting, the actual management of the assignment, the payment, the billing, all of that, a bunch of disparate systems. That's okay, but they need to be integrated and all talking to one another. And I think the way the VMS space is working, they're looking to centralize that. Well, hey, you don't need to go to DocuSign. We'll actually just handle the contract for you. Or maybe we have an API or something with DocuSign and it's all done there. The trying to create a one-stop shop for it all. And I know some people don't like that term, but basically a centralization of the steps and the technology that you need to use is, I think, one of the most important things. Because if we go back to that change, boy, this new process that we're changing to better be a lot easier than what I was doing before. Because if I'm going to have to learn a new system, even if I'm going from eight systems down to one, that's still a new system that I have to learn and I have to use consistently. And I think all of that ties together to be prohibitive.